everyone, welcome back to another video where today we're going to be solving Leetcode number 121, best time to buy and sell stock. So before we actually start talking about how we solve the problem and code up our solution, let's just go ahead and analyze and read the problem to see what the prompt is requesting us to do. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. So this problem states that we are given an array prices, where prices of I is the price of a given stock on the ith day. For example, prices at 2 is just basically that value is going to correspond to the price on the second day. So we want to maximize your profit by choosing a single day to buy one stock and choosing a different day in the future to sell that stock. Okay, so the indice when we sell that stock should be higher than the indice when we purchase the stock. So basically in the future. So we want to return the maximum profit that we can achieve from this transaction, and if we cannot achieve any profit whatsoever, we simply have to return 0. Okay, so basically that's saying if the array is continuously descending, we actually kind of have to return 0 because we're never actually going to make a valid profit greater than 0. Okay, so for example 1, we have an input of prices array 7, 1, 5, 3, 6, and 4, and the output is 5. So basically what 5 means in this situation is that the greatest profit we can make by selling on by buying on one day and selling another is $5, or whatever currency that you could like to use. So our explanation here is we buy on day 2 when the price is equal to 1, which in this case is prices at indice 1, and then we sell on day 5, which in this case is indice number 4, when the price is equal to 6. And the profit would be 6 minus 1, which is simply equal to 5. How much we bought it for versus how much we sold it for. Okay, and we have to note that buying on day 2 and selling on day 1 is not allowed because we must buy before we sell. Okay, that's also very important. The indice when we buy must be less than the indice when we sell. And for example 2, we have prices at 7, 6, 4, 3, and 1. As we can see, this is clearly descending, meaning we'll never have an actual profit when we purchase and then try to sell it again. And so in this case, no transactions are done, and the max profit is going to be 0. We can purchase whenever we want, but we cannot sell to make an actual profit. So now that we actually understood the problem, I'll give you guys a few seconds to kind of just decode it and think about your own solution. So just feel free and pause the video. And if you can't think of a solution, that's completely fine. I will tell you guys how I would solve this in a few seconds. Alrighty. So if you guys haven't solved it yet or just want to see my solution, that's completely fine. So before we actually start coding it up, I'll kind of just tell you and walk you through how we do it. So we keep track of 2 indices, 0 and 1. This is the first initial time we can sell, and we have to check while that our first indice is less than our second indice, and basically while our second indice is still in range of the prices, basically the length of prices, we need to validate that the prices at the first indice is less than the prices at the second indice, and that will make sure that we actually can make a profit. If that is true, we'll update a local current variable that represents our sum by that prices at second indice minus the prices at the first indice, and get the max value of that variable. And if that isn't true, we'll simply update and increment our window by 1 for each indice, and we'll simply return that local variable that represents our maximum sum. So if you guys don't understand, that's completely fine. I will kind of explain how we do it as we go through the code. So I'll get P1 and P2 equal to 0 and 1. These are essentially just my starting indices. Okay, so this basically says that the first time I can buy a stock is on indice 0 or day 1, and the immediate time I can sell it right after that is going to be on day 2 or indice 1. And we can progress that window if it actually doesn't meet our criteria. Okay, and we'll set our current profit variable equal to 0 because of course we haven't actually made any profit yet. And now we'll use a while loop to check that our P2 is still in range. So basically our window is still in the range and within our array input array, sorry. So we'll say while P2 is actually less than the length of the prices, that means it's still a valid indice. Then we can actually check if we actually make a profit when buying and selling from these two indices. So we'll say if prices at P1 is actually less than prices at P2. This means we can actually make a valid solution. And if we can actually make a valid solution, we'll set our total profit, okay, our total profit equal to the prices at P2, at indice P2, minus the prices at indice P1, because this essentially represents whatever profit we're going to make, okay? And we'll set our current profit equal to the maximum value of course, itself at the end of the day, and our total profit. Our total profit. And our total profit, essentially what that checks is every single form of profit we can make, and our current profit is simply going to record the maximum profit we can make from our total profit variable, which is denoted by prices at one indice minus the prices at the second indice. However, if prices at P1 is actually greater than prices at P2, that indicates that we can't actually make a profit. And if we can't actually make a profit, we'll have an else loop right here. And we'll say we have to set P1 equal to the new indice P2, and we'll simply increment our P2 by 1. Okay. And of course, P2 has to be incremented by 1 outside of the else loop because that is always true, regardless of the fact if P1 prices at P1 is less than prices at P2 or not. Okay. And after this, we can simply return our current profit, because this represents the maximum profit we can make with two valid indices within the range of the length of the prices. And if we were to actually run this, we would see that not only is it accepted, we can actually submit it, and it is pretty efficient. It's essentially as efficient as we can get. So before I just end the video, I'll kind of explain this a little bit one more time, just to show you guys how we actually solve this problem. So I have P1 and P2 that represents our current indices, okay? The first day we sell the stock, and the second day first day we buy the stock, and the second day we sell the stock. We'll have a current profit equal to 0, because of course we haven't actually validated any profits yet. And so then we'll check, while the P2, or basically the last indice in the window, is less than the length of prices, indicating that the window that we're actually checking or validating is still a valid window. We'll check if prices at P1 is less than prices at P2. If prices at the indice that we're purchasing the stock is actually less than the prices at the indice that we're actually selling the stock, that means that we can actually make a profit. So we'll set a new total profit variable equal to the prices at P2 minus the prices at P1, because that indicates the profit we can make from those two indices when we buy and sell those corresponding stocks. We'll set a current profit equal to the maximum profit of the current profit and the total profit. Okay, so the current profit is essentially just recording the maximum profit we can make, and the total profit is essentially all possible pairs of indices that we can sell from and buy from to record all different profits that we can make. And of course, if prices at P1 is actually not less than prices at P2, meaning we actually can't make any profit, we'll increment our P1 by 1, or basically set it equal to P2, and we'll then increment our P2 by 1. And even if prices at P1 is not less, strictly less than prices at P2, we still have to increment P2 by 1 to just increase the length of our window and check if that is a possible solution. And then we can just return our current profit, because that will have recorded the maximum profit we can make, as current profit is equal to the maximum profit of itself and the total profit, which once again records all different pairs of profits that we can have when we buy and sell stocks on different indices in the integer array prices. So if you guys understood that solution and learned something new today, please definitely make sure to like this video and comment down below if you have any questions, because it really makes me very happy to see that you guys are paying attention and following along. And once again, if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.